Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys 26-year-old veteran named best player who could be cut. Like other teams in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys will have to make some tough cuts before the season starts. Teams are allowed to carry 90 players on its roster during training camp and will be forced to trim down to 53 players before the start of the season. As Bleacher Report's David Kenyon writes in his list of best players who could be cut from teams before the start of the 2024 season, he mentions defensive lineman Chauncey Golston of the Cowboys. The turnover on the defensive line, in theory, is a good thing for Chauncey Golston. Dallas moved on from Jonathan Hankins and Neville Gallimore, vacating plenty of snaps up front, writes Kenyon. But the Cowboys will undoubtedly give rookies Justin Rogers and Denzel Jackson a long look. The 26-year-old Golston is on the verge of entering his fourth season in Dallas after the team selected him with a third-round draft pick in 2021. While the 6'5" defensive lineman has never been a starter for the Cowboys, he has served as a viable backup during all three of his seasons in Dallas. Golston has racked up at least 22 tackles in each of the past 3 seasons, while missing just 4 total games. Golston appeared in 41% of the defensive snaps during the 2021 season before playing 23% of the defensive snaps in 2022 and 29% of the defensive snaps in 2023. The University of Iowa alum is about to enter the final year of his rookie contract. Through 3 seasons, Golston holds career totals of 79 tackles and 9 quarterback hits to go along with 3.5 sacks in 47 games played and 3 games started. According to Pro Football Focus, Golston posted respectable grades across the board, including a 66.8 defensive grade and 75.0 pass rushing grade, ranking 43rd of 130 qualifying players at his position. However, as Kenyon mentions, the Cowboys do have a number of options along the defensive line, including the addition of 7th-round draft pick Justin Rogers and undrafted free agent Denzel Jackson. This actually isn't the first time Golston's name has been mentioned as a potential cut candidate this offseason. Sayer Bettinger of Fansided also mentioned Golston as a veteran who could lose their roster spot to a rookie back in March. When I said earlier that the Cowboys have been loyal to guys, I think Chauncey Golston is a great example, writes Bettinger. This is a former third-round pick who has really not done anything of note for the Cowboys, and the team has even had to reload on the defensive line to supplement his lack of development as a former top 100 pick. If the Cowboys were to release Golston this offseason, the dead cap hit would be minimal at $233,925. Their cap savings would be $1.3 million. Considering Golston is not an overly valuable member of the Cowboys' defensive line rotation, Dallas could opt to keep 1 or 2 of the rookies and cut Golston from the roster. These types of moves happen every season as veteran players are pushed out the door for younger and cheaper players who have more potential. How Cowboys' Trey Lance is working to improve ahead of 2024 season. For an article published on Monday, John Machota of The Athletic detailed how Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback Trey Lance is working to improve his footwork and to grow more comfortable playing in the West Coast offense ahead of what may be his final season with the club. We're working on a couple things fundamentally, just some of the drops he had done with the San Francisco 49ers don't correlate to what we do here, Cowboys quarterbacks coach Scott Tolzien said about Lance. And there's no wrong way in that, there's just different ways to skin the cat there. The 49ers grabbed Lance via the 3rd overall pick of the 2021 NFL Draft. He made just 4 career starts and attempted a total of 102 regular season passes before he suffered a campaign-ending ankle injury in September 2022. He then lost the San Francisco starting job to Brock Purdy. The Cowboys acquired Lance for a 2024 4th-round draft pick in late August of last year and had him complete a redshirt 2023 season as starter Dak Prescott guided the club to the division title. While Prescott is in the final year of his contract and may not be close to signing an extension, Dallas declined the fifth-year team option for 2025 attached to Lance's rookie deal earlier this offseason. "Trey is super coachable, so it's been awesome working with him," Tolzien continued. "It's not just hearsay for him, he works at it, whether he's with us or on his own time. It's obvious that he works at it and we're appreciative of that." Lance will compete with career backup Cooper Rush for Dallas QB2 job later this summer, but probably will only see the field during the 2024 season for mop-up duties or if Prescott goes down with an injury. Tolzien noted that Prescott has been a positive for Lance since last September, even though the 24-year-old theoretically could replace the veteran atop the Cowboys' depth chart depending on all that occurs over the next 9 months or so. "He goes out of his way, on a play maybe that he has a long history with, to maybe teach Lance some of the nuances within," Tolzien said about Prescott. "Beyond that, just teaching him the ropes, things that he's used in the past, that have helped him, both fundamentally and approach-wise." A team in Dallas' situation often would want to get a look at a young signal caller such as Lance before the expiration of his contract. However, DraftKings Sportsbook listed the Cowboys tied for third among the betting favorites at plus 700 odds to represent the NFC in Super Bowl 59. Such information serves as a reminder that Dallas is a win-now team not thinking beyond February 2025. With that said, Lance could spark some interesting future conversations if he impresses during preseason games and Prescott stays in the final year of his contract through the winter. Cowboys named best free agent fit for 3-time Pro Bowl Wr. After team owner Jerry Jones promised to make a splash in free agency earlier in the offseason, the Dallas Cowboys have been arguably the least active team on that front. Of the 7 free agents the team has signed so far, only 2 of them weren't on the roster last season. While Dallas may be content keeping its roster as is, ESPN's Matt Bowen believes there's one player who's still available that could help their Super Bowl aspirations this season: 3-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Michael Thomas. "When healthy, Thomas can still uncover and work multiple levels of the field," Bowen wrote. "While Thomas could wait until after camp start to find the best landing spot, let's focus on Dallas as a possibility. He could make an impact there on a 1-year deal." In Mike McCarthy's offense, Thomas could compete with Jalen Tolbert for the number 3 role alongside CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. He could align as a boundary X and show his ability to work the seams out of the slot. He caught 39 passes in 2023 for 448 yards and a score. Though the Cowboys drafted Southeast Missouri State's Ryan Flournoy in the 6th round of the 2024 draft, their wide receiver core could certainly use a boost in depth behind Lamb, the team's number 1 wideout. Last season, Lamb accounted for 38% of the team's receiving yards, 1,749, 33% of its touchdown receptions, 12, and 32% of its total receptions, 135. Dallas got just 110 combined receptions, 1,343 yards, and 12 touchdowns from its number 2 to 4 WRs. The 31-year-old Thomas could certainly boost those numbers. He was among one of the best WRs in the NFL. He started his career with 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, logging 92 or more receptions in each, while scoring 32 touchdowns during that span. But the problem is Thomas is a bit of a gamble, given his injury history. The former second-round pick hasn't played a full season since 2019, missing 47 games over the last 4 years due to varying injuries. If the Cowboys were getting a fraction of the 2016 to 2019 Thomas, he'd be well worth a flyer on a 1-year deal. But if they'd be getting the player who's averaged just 5 games per season over the last 4 years, it might be wise to stay away. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Michael Thomas? Leave your opinion in the comments.